This is the KTM RC8, and for years I have wanted one. And now that I've had my bike licence for a year, I thought it'd be time to go out and see if I could find one. The problem is that KTM no longer make it, and with it being such a stylish and awesome bike to look at, it's pretty hard to get hold of. So I thought my best chance would be to go to Premier Bikes in Oxfordshire, which is my nearest KTM dealer. And after perusing their many bikes, I realised that they didn't have one. No, they had three. Not only did they have three RC8s together, but each one was in a different colour. So I decided to approach the salesman and ask for a test ride. And the one I picked was the orange one. The reason being, because it's orange. So while Premier Bikes prepared the RC8, I thought I'd go into their lovely cafeteria, get a cup of coffee and research a bit more about the bike. And that is where I had a bit of a shock. You see, the KTM RC125 has a 125cc engine, and the KTM RC390 has a 373cc engine. So I thought that the KTM RC8 would have an 800cc engine. Turns out I was wrong. The KTM RC8 has an 1195cc engine, and that is a problem. Because if I was struggling to get insurance on an 800cc bike, how on earth was I going to get insurance on an 1195cc bike? So I decided to do the right thing. I said nothing and took the test ride anyway. So this is the KTM RC8. Very, very rare bike. They were a bit nervous about letting me ride this because they don't want me to put too many miles on it. So oh yes, yes. So we're going to see what it's like. A lot of data here. It's quite a raw sounding engine, this. So I'm going to adjust, nice and easy to adjust the mirrors. And really good visibility by the looks of it as well. Okay, now that's a really good place to park. So here we go on the KTM RC8. Why am I testing this? Well, because it's bright orange. That's why I like this bike. It's a bright orange, oh my god, it's pretty responsive. It's a bright orange beast, this. It's a bike I've been looking at for quite a long time. Just because of the looks of it. It looks like something out of RoboCop when you look at the front of it, or a Transformer or something. And it's absolutely fascinated me for years. The first thing I notice is very comfortable in terms of the riding position. The seat is very wide, and because it's nice and wide, it's very, very comfortable. And this thing just purrs along. I mean, at the moment I'm only in what, second gear. Don't think it's got a gear. No, it's not got a gear indicator that I can see. All we've got here is the rev counter, the ODO, and trip times, temperature, and the current time of day. I did notice there's a mode button on, so I'll have a look at that in a minute. Maybe that helps me, but we couldn't find a fuel gauge either, so we had to just look in the tank to see how much fuel there was. But this is quite an old bike, this one. I believe it's about 10 years old. I did ask the sales guy why it's called an RC8. Now, given this is a KTM dealer, a KTM specialist, I thought he might tell me why it's called an RC8 when the engine is a 1100cc. And he didn't know. So we'll look up and find out why it's called an RC8 later. I'll tell you what though, this is lovely. I mean, it's a big engine. You can tell the difference in the engine size in comparison to my other bikes. This is the biggest engine bike I've yet ridden, and you can tell, yet despite its size, it's extremely responsive. And it has come up, it's saying fuel distance, but it's not actually saying anything else. So I don't know what fuel distance means. It just says fuel distance, trip fuel, but nothing else other than the current temperature. Very odd. Now I really am struggling to get my feet down here. Yes, it's just saying fuel distance and nothing. Just fuel distance. You can see that. Very odd. It's going to be very difficult to keep to the speed limits on this thing. My goodness. It's fun though. It's a big orange machine. That feels like a lot of fun. The only thing is, I'm feeling considerable intense heat on my leg. Real intense heat on my right leg. My right lower leg. It's very hot. So I don't know why, I'll have to have a look in a minute. Maybe the exhaust is spitting out heat directly onto my legs, I don't know, but it's lovely and smooth. It really is lovely and smooth. Mirrors are good as well. Lots of rear visibility on the mirrors. You just have to be very careful. The throttle is extremely twitchy. Oh, my legs are burning now. I feel like I've got sunburn on the backs of my legs. It really is kicking out some heat. There's a lot of power in this, folks. Woo! Yeah, this thing will put you in a ditch very quickly if you're not careful. Woo-wee! Pretty good on the brakes. Those brakes are pretty good. Oh my god. Oh dear. This is scary. It's probably because I'm not used to bikes over 1000cc. It feels so twitchy. It's unbelievable. I'm very nervous on this thing, I've got to be honest. It wasn't like the Ducati where you could gently wind it on. This thing is either on or off. Woo! Oh no, it's the water again. Shite! Last time I came here it was flooded, and this time it's flooded, even though it's... Oh dear, I try not to get his bike wet now. Oh, they're not going to be happy with me. Just about get my feet down. I'm used to having a bike that tells me what gear I'm in as well. God, it's just so jumpy. Flipping heck. Well, I can't see why you'd need any more than 3 gears with this if you're riding British roads. There is so much torque in this engine. I'll tell you what though, it's exciting. Seeing all this bright orange material surrounding you is highly exciting. It's like riding a 2-wheeled Lamborghini because it's big, bright and loud. And I do like that bit, and I do love the dash. It's very big, it's clear, easy to read. And of course, because it's a bright orange machine, it's easy for other traffic to see you and spot you, which means safe-wise, it's quite good. It's good for your safety, your personal safety. Revs to 12,000 RPM. I think, to be honest with you, I'd prefer this with an 800 or 670, 675cc engine, something like that in it. Because of the size of the bike and the weight of the bike, this 1100cc engine is just too big. Don't see why you need a massive great engine like this in a bike that's like this size and weight. It just seems massive overkill to me personally. My God! Woo! There is so much torque on this thing. It just literally pushes you into the back of the bike. A lot of low end grunt there. Woo! Oh. Just put it in and take a little look at it. But struggling to get my feet down, as I say, due to the width of the saddle. This is the KTM RC8, which stands for Release Candidate 8, as I understand it. So we have a twin 4-stroke engine. The first model had an 1148cc engine. This one has an 1195cc because the later models were made slightly bigger. It's a 152 bhp engine. It weighs in at 198 kilos, which is pretty light for a bike of that size of engine. 16.5 litre tank, which should take you around 145 miles and can have a top speed of 178 miles per hour. Now, one thing I can say, if you are a beginner rider, the only thing sort of in its favour from a beginner's point of view is the seat height is only 805mm, but it is quite a wide seat, so you still struggle to get your feet down on this bike. Now, this particular one has got the carbon rear mudguard, the Rosso Diablo tyres, and these beautiful Marchesini wheels. I love the way you've got the markings here on these wheels. They look absolutely stunning. It does remind me of my MV Agusta, which has got a very, very similar type of markings on the wheels. Let's have a look at the space in the seat here. Oh, not a lot. That's how you access your battery. At least you've got good easy access to the battery if you want to charge it, but no real storage. I'm pressing the mode button here and it's giving me basically fuel distance to next service, 5,000, the ODO, and it's telling me it's in road mode. I'm not sure how you change between road and race, but there seems to be a way to be changing it between road and race. And it's not telling me how much fuel I've got left, which is a bit annoying. Got to be honest though, I'm struggling to manoeuvre this bike around a little bit. So I think you could get used to it. If you're sort of 5'8", 5'9" or taller, you'll be okay with this, I think. It's not as compared to my MV Agusta F3. It's not as intense a riding position. It's on the way to it, but it's not quite. Yeah, you can really feel it pushing you. When it goes, it just goes. It's not the kind of controllable power that you get when you have the Ducati Supersport or the MV Agusta F3 that I've got. I find those two bikes far more controllable of the power. Nod to the biker. This thing is, you know, like I say, you just literally pull the throttle a little bit and it's off. Woo! Yeah, it doesn't like these bouncy kind of roads either. Yeah, it's definitely chucking out a lot of heat. My legs are on fire. Right, so, well, that was a little bit of fun. As I say, the things I like about it are the bright orange paintwork, makes it very visible for oncoming traffic. Got a great engine sound, fantastic mirrors. So from that point of view, it's good. But to me, unfortunately, it's just too big. I mean, the engine size on this thing is just too big for the bike, in my personal opinion. So, would I buy one? Well, I've hankered after this bike for a long time, mainly because of the looks and the colour. But the answer is no. Unfortunately, I wouldn't. It's just a bit too twitchy, a bit too big. The engine's too big. It's too twitchy. I just don't think for sort of intermediate type beginning riding that it's suitable. You could very easily end up in a ditch. But anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that little trip out, and thanks for watching.